Okay. So next topic is files and directories. So in this we will discuss about the files and directories. So what is files and directories? So files and directories are nothing but a file is nothing but a sequence of bytes, and each character is 1 byte long. Okay. So here in files and directories, suppose if any new directory is created, so that means a new child process is created. For example, cd command is executed. So cd space some example directory is given. So that means a new child process is created, and parent process remains same. So a new child process is created. That means a new directory. Whereas here the process process contains login names. Okay. So and login names. So it is one of the process attribute. So like that. So every process will contain every child process will now inherit the parent process and will continue with the same version. Okay, this is about the child process creation. Okay, so child process is created and it is inherited and it inherits the parent process. So next is what is the advantage? Next is what is the advantage of using files and directories? So we can use the du command to know the file size. For example, first we create a file called mkdir receipts. So inside the receipts there are again two directories. Okay, so pie and cookie. So inside the cookie there is a file called choco.chip, and inside the pie there are again two files, crust and apple. So crust is let's say 4 bytes and apple is say 4 bytes. So 4 plus 4 8, and since it is of directory of pie, so 8 plus 4. So because itself I have to count. So 8 plus 4, 12 is the size of the 12 is the size of the directory called pie. And cookie, since it has only one file, so 4. So choco chip of size 4. So 4 plus itself 4. 4 plus 4 8. So 8 and plus 12. So pie is 12 and cookie is 8. So 8 plus 12 20. And itself receipt size itself is so 20 plus 4 24. So 24 is the size of the directory called receipts. So how do we know all these things? So simply give du space minus a. That's it. In the receipts directory, du space minus in the example directory. So it will give the entire size of the receipts. Entire size first the size of the each file, that is choco.chip, apple, crust. After that pie. After that we can see the cookie. After that you will give the size of the receipt. So in that way entire file size is given. Okay, this is about du minus a command. So next is we will see about the cd dot command. So what is the advantage of using the cd dot command? So the cd dot command moves one level up. So remember in Unix, dot means present directory, double dot means parent directory. That means one level up in the directory. So this is about the cd dot. So cd dot semicolon pwd. So that means go one level up from the window. For example, you are in cookie directory. So cd dot pwd. So it will go one level up and move to the receipts directory. Okay, and again cd dot pwd, go one level up and moves into the examples directory. Okay, so like this the directory hierarchy is met. And if you go even further one step level, cd again give dot, then it will go to the home directory. If you give again cd dot, then it will go to the home. Again cd dot, then it will go to the slash. So slash is nothing but the top one. Again if you give cd dot, that means it will never, it does not go beyond that. So that is the topmost directory in the Unix operating system. So what is the topmost directory in Unix? Slash. That is root is the topmost directory in the Unix operating system. So this is about the files and directories. So next topic is permissions. So what is a permission? A permission is nothing but who can do what on a file. Who can do what on a file. For example, a user can read, write or access or execute a file. Okay, before going to that, so what is a super user? So does the super user know the password of a user? No. Super user also don't know the password, because the password is stored in the form of encrypted form. So no one knows the exact nature of the password. Okay, exact form of the password. So that's what. So even super user cannot know it. So where is this file? This file is present in /etc directory. Simply give cd space /etc space /passwd. So in this way, it will change the directory CD and it will show the path. So what is the first column? First column is login name, colon encrypted password, colon user ID, colon group ID, colon miscellaneous information, colon home directory, colon shell. So these are the 7 topics. There are 7 fields associated in a /etc/passwd. So what is this user ID and group ID? So these are unique to the user. For 18N180501, one particular user ID and group ID. And for 18N180502, there is another particular user ID and group ID. For each login, there is a unique user ID and the group ID. So this is about the /etc/password. It contains several lines. It is not a one entry, single entry. It contains several lines where each line is specific to a user. Each line is specific to a user, and each line contains encrypted password, and each line contains login information. Each line contains user ID. Each line contains group ID, and also shell. For example, /bin/bash means the shell which user is using is bash shell, that is born again shell, and home directory. So after logging into the Unix operating system, whatever the directory present, so that directory is nothing but the home directory. So another way of going to home directory, CD space tilde. So tilde symbol. So it will directly goes to the home directory. So like this in /etc/passwd, it contains the information in the form of lines for every user. Next is ls-l. If you give ls-l, so it will give the details of this one. That means /etc/password has no execute and no execute and write permission. Okay. Suppose so here another important thing is, if you give ls-bin/passwd, don't confuse with etc password and bin password. So bin password is nothing but the command, and etc password is nothing but a file. So in case of bin password, what happens here is, now it contains the executable code. So using the bin password only, we can change the password associated with a file. It is unique to the user. No one can give. So he can give the new, you can give existing password, and then he can give the new password, and then he can reconfirm the password. Okay, in that way he can change the password. So why we are studying here? We are studying here because there is a special symbol associated with a /bin/password. What is the symbol? Is yes. So yes means set UID. That means the permission, what is the permission your root user has, the same permission associated with that file also. Okay, that is set UID. So what is the advantage of set UID and what is the disadvantage of it? Advantage of set UID is we are providing security to the user. We are providing security to the user. For example, when we are playing a game and we want to the score is given to the root user, that is using super user, but it is not modified by the other user. So that is advantage. What is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is, suppose if you change permissions, suppose if you give a writable permission to that file, that means the file itself can be changed, it can be modified. So that is another disadvantage. So advantage is security, but disadvantage is the file can be modified or updated. So this is another example of this is another feature of the set UID. Okay, set UID yes. So instead of RWX, we have RWS, capital S. So that is nothing but the set UID concept. Okay, so after that, what are the permissions associated with the file? There are 3 permissions associated with the file. What are those? Read, write, and execute. So what is read permission? Read permission means we can view the contents of the file. And write permission means we can modify the contents of it. We can change the contents of the file. And execute permission means we can run it like a program. That is nothing but the execute permission. So what is the difference between file permissions and directory permissions? So in case of directory permissions, read R means we are listing the contents of the directory, and W means we are adding or removing a file from the directory, and execute means we are searching for a file in the directory. Suppose if it is read production, that means chmod -r space file name. If it is a particular file is -r space directory name. Suppose if a particular, that is receipts. Suppose if a particular directory is receipt, for example, receipts directory is read protected. That means what happens? So what happens is we cannot list or see the contents of the directory. That is a disadvantage. So okay, I mean that is a feature actually present in the Unix. So if we any read, so that means ls command will not work. Ls command. Suppose if we remove the write permission, chmod -w space receipts. So what happens is we cannot add a new date. That is vi command or ed command will not work, and we cannot remove also. Rm command will not work. rm command will not, because the directory is write protected. The directory is write protected. So that is the meaning of the read protect. That is the meaning of the write protected for a directory. Next is execute. So what if you remove the execute permission? So if you remove execute permission, you cannot search for a file in the directory. That means find command will not work. For example, find space dot minus name file name hyphen print. So that command will not work. That is the disadvantage of using the minus x in the directory for a particular directory. Okay, if it is minus r ls command will not. If it is minus w rmvid will not work. If it is minus x, then find command will not work in the Unix operating system. So this is about the, that means write protected. So the, and you cannot read it. Suppose who space greater than space dot will not work, because dot is a, I told you dot is nothing but the present directory in the Unix command. So this is about the permissions associated with a file. Next topic is inode. So what is an inode? So inode is nothing but the index node. So that means in Unix there are two types of information. One is administrative information and another one is file information. That is name of the file, content of the file, size of the file, like this. So administrative information contains the file modification time and also the file modification time and also the file permission time. Okay, file changing the permission time. Okay, so this modification and changing permission time will collectively place in a administrative section. In which place? Administrative information. So this administrative information maintained in inode. In inode there are three types are associated with a, in Unix there are three types associated. First is normal modification time, that is written when the file is written, and second one is the file was last used, that means read or executed, and third one is the file is last inode since last changes. That means the file permission is changed. So in this way there are three times associated with it. So what is meant by ls and what is meant by ls minus l? So ls minus l means modified time. Ls minus lu means recently used or read or executed. Ls minus lc means recently changed the permissions. There are three times associated with a Unix. So first is ls minus l, that means modified. Whenever you open a file and modify something, or when you create a file, that is nothing but the ls minus l, normal time. So ls minus lu is a special meaning associated with it. For example, if you read a file, for example, cat space a sample, so that means you read the content of the file called sample. So in this way, what is happening is you are changing the contents of the file. I mean, you are readily not changing, you are read the contents of the file. That means ls minus lu for that particular file is affected. And also ls minus lc. Suppose if you run the chmod command, chmod 444 space sample. Okay, let us chmod 444 space junk. So that means the particular file modification time is changed. So that can be shown in the slide. Okay, so like this, for every change in the time, obviously the time gets reflected in the ls minus l command, corresponding ls minus l command. Okay, so this is about the basic concept. So next is suppose date space grind. Suppose you take a date command and save the output of the date command in a junk file. So how can I do it in Unix? Using greater than symbol, that is redirection symbol. What is redirection? Normally the output of the date command appears at the terminal, but instead of at the terminal we move the output to a file called a junk. So that means you will use the date space greater than space junk, and you will see the three times associated with the files, ls minus l, ls minus lu, and ls minus lc. So after that, suppose if we change the permission, so what is the effect? That also can be seen. After that, we will see how to check the inode of a file. So inode of a file can be checked using command called ls space -i. In this way, we will get the details of all the inodes in a file. Not only file, directory also has inodes, either file or a directory. Okay, so these two have the inode numbers present. So ls minus I will give the inode number of the each each content of the file. Next is what is the effect of ln command? So ln command is nothing but link command. So what is a link command? Link command is used to create a links to a file. Okay, that means we know that ls minus l second field is number of links. Ls minus l output of a file for a second field is number of links. So the number of links is in case of in case of number of links, that will be ln command used for a particular file. So for that particular file, what we will see is we will see that that particular file has number of links as 2. For example, junk. So link to junk. So ln space junk space link to junk. So link to junk is a new file created. Now what is the count? 2. And size is same and time is same. So only the number of links are changed. Number of links are changed and different file names. So what is a link concept? So link concept here is, suppose if you are working in a project and two persons working on 2 files, and if any of the file is updated by any of the person, then that update will reflect in both the files. That update is reflected in both the files. So not only a single file. Suppose a link to junk is updated, so it is updated in junk also. And it is updated in junk, then link to junk also updated. So like that, at the same time, whenever he saves the file, after modification, if he saves the file, escape W, so that means immediately both the files get affected. That is about the link. If you are working on it, the real-time example is projects. When working on a project, so when both the persons are working on the same file, so obviously what happens is, they can work on a file and the corresponding file gets affected. This is about the command. What is the effect of cp command? So why we use cp command normally? So cp command is used to create backups. Just like in Windows environment, file save as and you will create another file. Like that cp space source file name and space destination file name. So we will create a backup file, and what happens is, what is the inode for that particular file? Suppose in case of ln command, it has inode for junk and link to junk is same. Whereas in case of cp command, the inode for source junk file and copy to junk is different, because copy to junk is another, copy of junk is a different file and junk is a different file. But sizes are same, but inodes are different. Sizes are same and number of links also 1. Number of links also 1. So how to remove a link file? So rm space a link file name. So to remove the and link count will become 1. How to remove a copy? How to remove a file? Normally rm space file1 space file2. So it will remove 2 files. Okay. How to remove a directory? Rm minus rf space directory name. It will remove the directory, including the contents of the file. Including the contents of the directories or subdirectories, and recursively it will remove all the files and the subdirectories of the directory. So that is the way of doing rm command. Suppose if the copy of the junk is write protected, but that means not only directories, files also can be write protected. For example, chmod space -w space copy of junk. So what will happen? What will happen is simply it will if you say rm space copy of junk, it will ask the prompt, do you really want to delete? Do you want to really delete remove a write protected regular file copy of junk? That pop-up will appear. Then you question mark. If you say yes, file gets deleted. If you say no, file remains same. File remains same. So these are the copy of the junk command. So generally you will create a copy of the files for creating the backups. Okay, because if you don't create a backup, you work directly on a file. So whatever the changes you want to previous version, so that version you can't have right now because it is modified version. So previous version and this version. So to have the comparison, what we are doing is we are doing this copy operation. Next is move command. So what happens for a move command? Will the inode number remain same or change? So move command is used for two purposes. One is to move the location of file from one location to another location in Unix, and other purpose is to rename a file. To rename a file, we will use the mv command. So here in this context, if you mv space junk space same old junk is there. So what happens is you will still find the mv space. So you will still find the same inode number ls minus l. Give the ls minus il or li ls minus li. So it will still shows the same inode number. Only the name of the file is changing. So this is about the mv command with respect to the inode. Next is how you copy multiple files into a particular directory. So syntax is how you copy or you move both. So if you give cp or cp, if in case of copy give cp space file1 space file2 space file3 and so on file space, last give the directory name. So in that way all the files are moved to the directory at once. That is on go. Suppose you want to copy the shell files into your local directory. So how can you cp space /usr /bin /sh and then give the directory sh. Okay, like that. So if you want to move a directory, mv space file1 space file2 space and so on directory name. So in that way you can move all the files into the corresponding directory. So this is about the inodes. Next is directory hierarchy. So what is a directory hierarchy in Unix? So why we use directory hierarchy? So we use directory hierarchy because we want to know the not only in a single directory everything will appear, it will appear in parts. So what is the structure of the directory in Unix is hierarchical, so that is inverted tree like structure, because it is easy to add and remove, So what is the directory hierarchy in Unix? So that is /bin, that means it contains the /bin contains the all the commands present in the Unix, all the different commands present in the Unix, So like cp, mv, rm, rmdir, chmod, chown, chgrp, all these files present in the /bin, that is standard directory. There are two versions, one is user directories and second one is built-in directory. So user directory starts with /usr, whereas built-in /bin, /lib. So there are 7 directories which you should remember: /bin, /lib, /etc, /unix, /temp, okay, /usr. Okay, so these are the different files, directories present in the directory hierarchy of the Unix. Okay, and first is bin. So what is /bin standard? So /bin contains the command, and what is /lib contains? /lib contains libraries, for example cpp library. And what is /etc contains? It contains files like group. So group file contains groups associated with a particular user. It contains getty process. It contains passwd, password file, where the information is printed in encrypted form. That is about the /etc. So /bin, /lib, /etc, /temp. During execution, many log files. Suppose if any crash is there, if any error is there, runtime error, where it is stored? It is stored in the form of a log file in the directory. Which directory? Temp directory. Okay, so that is about the temp command, temp directory. Next is /usr. So this is where most of the commands, so bin or user, bin, which contains more files? /usr /bin contains more commands, more files when compared to /bin. Similarly, /usr /lib also contains libraries. What is /usr /bin contains? It contains who, wc, which. So what is which command? Which command is used to know the path of a command. Okay, so like that also contains few commands. What is /usr /lib contains? It contains C and Fortran libraries. What is /usr /include contains? Include means header files. What is header file? A header file is a file which contains function declarations. Where is this header file gets called? In the main function. So that is about the importance of a /usr /. Next, /usr /sys. What it contains? It contains about system header files like fcntl.h, open, read, close, write, read. So all these contains in fcntl.h. Okay, time.h, that is another header file. ipc.h, shm.h, like that all the system related header files are present in /usr /include /sys. Clear? So next is /usr /include /usr /bin /src. If you want to know the commands source code, /usr /cmd /src. If you want to know the commands src, you can know. If you want to know the kernel src, that is also possible. /usr /bin /src. Okay, so like that, and also there is a directory present /usr /spool for communicating the messages. /usr /spool /uucp /usr /spool LPD, line printer device, so that is part of this pool. Okay, and home directory slash bin, it's a bin directory which contains the user programs. Okay, so this is about the directory hierarchy in a Unix operating system.